Hello, it's me, back once again with another indie game, and welcome back to Microtopia. We played a ton of this back like a year ago, and I've been waiting for them to do some sort of like major update or change or new cast of creatures in this one, and they have finally done kind of a bigger update recently. So I thought I would come back and we'd get back into Microtopia for a little while and see what's new. Let's head into the new game. All right. So one thing they have added since we last played is a new sandbox mode. So if you want to turn on sandbox mode, you can, and then you're just gonna have access to all of the technologies unlocked and everything like that, and you can spawn whatever you want to inside. They haven't added any new world seeds or anything like that, so you still start kind of the same space, and there's still just the one ant. I'm really hoping that they'll eventually add like a new cast of ants with like some new special capabilities or things like that down the road. But that's fine. We'll just go like this for now, and we'll start off a new game. Let's go. Okay, so for folks who've not seen this game before, in Microtopia, we're basically microscopic little tiny ants in a microscope on these crazy islands that have all these like tiny little bits of metal and plants growing in here and stuff like that. And we're gonna grow a miniature ant colony with these little mechanical ants. So the first thing we gotta do is find a good spot to put down our queen. And our queen is extremely hungry, so she wants food like crazy. And food is actually these little energy balls that grow in these little plants here, these little yellow things. We got to collect them and like feed just tons and tons of them to the queen so that she'll lay eggs. So we got to look for somewhere that is reasonably close to a few. I think probably somewhere in this area here, we've got like a few different areas here of food nearby because we're going to need to grab all that stuff. We also see here we've got like metal that we're gonna be able to mine and pick up, and we've got these green stems here where we're gonna be able to cut down and make fiber with as well. So I think this area seems like it's pretty good, maybe like right over here. We still have a tutorial we need to go through before we get into the more complex stuff, so we'll follow along with that for now. So the queen is here. I'm gonna drop the queen down, say here, and throw her like that, and then she'll come fly down in a second and land on our screen. Okay, there she is in all her glory and mechanical goodness. So she's like made out of like little scraps of microchips and stuff like that. And we get these 4 worker ants to get us started. So these ants live forever. So we'll just kind of like, we have to guide them. What's interesting about this game too is you have to like guide your ants. So they're not going to just kind of automatically do stuff until you tell them what to do. We'll complete this, that's fine. That's going to give us access to our first couple of things here. And this is a game about evolution, basically, right? So we're going to start off really simple, and then we're going to keep updating and changing things and how they work. But the first thing we need to do is start getting some metal. So we can build these incubators and these combiners. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our storage. We're going to grab a little stockpile here, and we're just going to put it like right here for now. We're gonna move stuff around. It's really easy to like grab stuff and move around and just like change where they are. So you're never like stuck with anything, which is nice. All right, and then we have to pull in these little lines. So the way our ants work is we grab these little lines and we tell them where they will go. So this is a hauling line. So it's telling them to go here, pick up stuff along the hauling route and bring it back to this area here. And we can assign this to be a metal stockpile for, oh, where is, doesn't let me choose that. That's fine. Okay. That's okay. Anyways, we'll send these guys over here, and they'll get on this little line here, and they'll start grabbing all of the metal over here. There's only 31 here, so it won't take them very long to do that, because it's a very short little stretch. But yeah, he's going to grab the stuff here, and they're going to drop it off over there. And fantastic. Okay. So yeah, now it's letting me select this, but that's fine. Guess because it's a new material, I guess we hadn't checked it out. But anyways, we get a little bit of scrap iron going in here for all these like little broken gears and stuff like that. It's very fun. So they'll grab all that stuff. But yeah, as long as they're on this line, they'll go. These guys have a lifespan of infinite. But you'll see when we create some new ants in a moment that they're all going to have very specific small lifespans. All right, so we're grabbing some of those. The next thing we need to do is get some food. Now, food can be a little bit tricky to get initially just because there's a bunch of it. We don't want our paths to be too long, and we want all of our food to try to go into one location if possible. So what I'm gonna do is something like this. I'm gonna draw some lines with this, and we've got this green one that is our food trails. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a divider, like up here, and I'm gonna attach to these ends. Oh, I can't go there because of this thing's in the way. That's fine. We'll just kind of go around for now. We'll pick all that stuff up later. And then we're gonna put a storage down here. Like so. And we'll get them all to go to this storage. Like so. And this is all just temporary. We're just doing this until we can get some other stuff going on. And then we will take them through to here. And we'll put another storage up here as well, which is fine. And so what they'll do is they'll grab all these things, they'll drop them off at these spots along the route. Yeah, and they're done grabbing these ones, so I'm just gonna pull these guys over here. And we're gonna throw 2 of them on here for now. That's just, again, just temporary. We're gonna also move this. We can just kind of click F and just like move this over here. And then we can redraw this line. And we'll grab a little bit more of this stuff by getting those guys on there. And then you can see these guys are going to go on there, and they're starting to drop the food off, which is great. So we'll get a little bit of food going on there. And I just want to build up a little stockpile of metal just to get us started. You can see there's a bunch down here. We're going to need a different type of ant to get into these ones. These have to be like mined out of here. It's like a huge amount. But we'll be able to pick up all of these. There's quite a bit of metal here. So that'll be fine. All right, so we'll clean up this pile. Won't take too long. We are collecting food, which is great. All right, so this one's almost done. In the meantime, what we're going to do is set up food supply for Mama over here. So we're going to grab our stockpile. We can place a dispenser, which is going to be hooked up to this thing, and we'll just place it like around here for now. And then what happens here is Ant will come get the food. We'll go to Mama and then go over there. So just a little triangle like that is perfectly fine. And then we'll grab one of these guys. As soon as they're done with that pile, we'll move those over there. And then the other thing we got to do is start getting ready for population. So we're going to need to get some birthing things in here. So we'll throw, say, 3 of them down here. Usually 3 of them kind of maxes you out for most of the game. And so, yeah, dude is going to come through here, and he's going to walk around here, and he's going to go there. So they take a little bit of time. So what I'm hoping is, you know, we'll fill these 3 up over time, and we'll get some little baby ants, as I call them. Okay, so these guys are done over here. That's fine. So we're going to bring you guys this way. Yeah, these guys are filling up the food. What I'm going to do is actually just send. There are a few like nice little quality of life stuff for this game. There could be more, but there are a few nice ones. So I can send food like over, just kind of stockpile in here, because Mama's going to eat food real quick. She's gonna just absorb it like crazy. So we send him over there. We send him over there, and he's going to grab the food. She's going to eat the food, and then, yeah, life happens. So a little bit of food. She doesn't need any more help than that. She just needs food. She's fully ready to support life. And, yeah, we kind of scoop them out of her area here. Le derrière, as we might say in French. So we'll grab that, and we get these little baby ants here. Fantastic. And then these little baby ants we can connect to a path, and they'll come out from here. And if we pause for a second, you'll see that these guys have a very short lifespan, only about 5.5 minutes. I think this is one thing they did improve. I think this used to be a little bit shorter. I think they've improved the lifespan on most of the ants. And I think you'll notice that more so when we get into the higher level ants later on. But anyway, so we've got these guys coming out. When I click on these guys, they've got a couple of things they could do. They can do hauling and foraging. So it means they can pick up stuff and drop it off somewhere, or they can forage for food. So the only things they're going to be able to do right now is collect metal or collect food. Now that I realize too, my metal collection is actually kind of far away from where I probably want it to be. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe not. It's probably fine. So what we'll do, we need to give them something to do. So they've got a limited lifespan. They will eventually just die. Later on, we'll be able to do some stuff about that. So once we get into the, you'll see once we get into the research tree here. But for now, we got to finish off this quick tutorial before we get into like the real part of the game that is going to allow us to grow a bit faster. So for now, what we'll do is we will do some hauling paths. Yeah, we'll do some quick hauling paths to get this stuff collected, maybe like 4 for now. And then we have, yeah, another divider path that goes up this way. And then we send them back up. Ooh, can you go that way? Okay, that's fine. We send them all this way. And then they'll drop off all of their stuff over here. And again, it's all temporary, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to get stuff started for now. So they'll go through there. We also have these kind of counter gates, so we can determine how many we want to go down a certain path. So I will put a counter gate right here. And because there's only so much metal, we don't need like a huge influx of metal coming down there. What I'll say is send like maybe 4 little guys down this way. And then we can grab this path here. Right now we only have these hauling paths, so just note that with a hauling path, they're gonna haul anything that they come across on there, so just be aware of that. But yeah, it's a bit of a long passage, but they'll start, once we unpause here, they'll start moving down this path, which is great. So it'll fill up until there's 4. You can see the little white ticks here, and it'll fill up the path until there's 4 ants on that path, and then everybody else will just kind of wait for now. And they will wait until we send them down a new path. So we'll send these other folks down this way, and they will go and join these guys so that we can start getting more food off of here. We're also going to need more of these little food lines going, so I think what I'll do is something similar here. I'll just do some more paths down this way for now. This will get more efficient later, but for now, I think this is probably the best bet, is to kind of do this. Yeah, and then we'll... oh, nope, that's not what I meant to do. That's okay, we'll delete that. Where is the end to my path there? Okay. Just because these paths are really long, I don't, like, it's... Eventually we'll have a lot of ants on here, but it is a bit troubling, because you can see we've already run out of food over here, because Mama is eating everything. So I do like to try to keep things relatively simple, but sometimes that doesn't work very well. So ideally we would bring them all through this one, so they're all going through here, but that is a long path around. But I think that's what we're going to do for now. It's fine. We'll just bring everybody through to here, so that everything goes into this one. Later on, we get like smart dispensers, so they'll take from wherever the food is. But for the time being, we don't really have that luxury. All right, so they're gonna get a bunch of food. Yeah, they're gonna come this way. What we're gonna do is we'll split these guys this way and have some of them start over this way, just to spread them out a little bit so they're not too congested on this one line. But now we have a lot of ants. So now we've got 25 ants. And then your ants, the amount you're allowed is set by how fast you're feeding Mama here. So right now we just got one guy on this little line here feeding her pretty quickly, but we'll probably need to add some ants onto there in the near future as well, right? Because now you can see, like, this is slowing down quite a bit. We are not, we are at max capacity, in fact, right? So we actually need to start feeding Mama a little bit faster in order to build that capacity. So I'm going to bring you over here. And then what we're going to do is put another counter over here for, say, 1 for now. And then this one is going to go on to this path, so that the first one that gets born once we get into the next stage here. So we just need to get this to go up, and then she'll start making the babies, and then we'll be able to automate this a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna grab you. You're gonna go on there for now, and just get this first little kiddo worked out. Nice. Okay, so now you can go back to feeding. Fantastic. Do we have enough food here? I think so. For now. But that will go fast. She eats a lot of food. All right. Meanwhile, these guys are getting all of the goodies down here, which is great. So the next thing we're going to have to set up, you'll see here it's going to say produce 10 regular workers. So in order to do that, we need to build one of these guys, which you're going to see it needs like some iron pieces that we need to actually build. So we're going to have to go into production. We're going to have to make a smelter. So smelters are going to smelt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them up over here. And what we'll do is I'll put like maybe 3 of them on here. And later on, we'll be able to make this more efficient later on, with counter gates. But right now, we don't have all the technology we need to make these work very well. This has different modes. Checks the trails but stops at other gates. Checks the following trail but stops at other gates. Yeah, I don't know if we want to mess around too much with that yet. Until we get like in trails and stuff like that. But what we can do is we can have, for now, we can just have these guys kind of split off over here. And then go like so. Yeah, so they're going to go like that. They're going to go in here. They're going to click on that. And then they're going to go back onto this path. Well, actually, we probably want it coming from here, to be honest. So what we're going to do, in fact, is get them from here. All right, let me just pause real quick, too. So we'll get those guys there. The reason why I'm pausing is because we haven't fully set this up, and I don't want to waste these guys. So what we'll do is this thing here. We can add as many dispensers as we want. Dispensers and depots are free. So we can just add a dispenser for each of these for now. Again, this will be, this is just to get us started. And then we'll clean stuff up later on. And you can build like foundations and floors, make it all neat and tidy if you want. I actually don't like the floors as much. The only value of the floors is that it makes it easy to like copy and paste stuff. So you need to build foundations in order to use those techs. But yeah, now these guys are going to go in and they're going to start making this stuff here, which is the basis for all of our iron goods. All right, so everybody that's born is going to go through here and make one of those, as long as they're not the ones going in to collect it. All right, and later on we'll assign some people in there. I might actually just change that a little bit in a second. All right, and then here you can see, yeah, these guys are getting old, and they turn gray, and then they just die. But we'll rectify that very shortly. Meanwhile, over here, food is dwindling down a little bit. Yeah, Mama's getting fed pretty good. We got a fair amount of folks being born here. I don't know why there's 2 on here when I set it to 1. Pretty sure I set it to 1. Yeah, I did. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why there's 2 on there. Something ain't right there, but that's fine. Not a big deal. All right, we're at 50 ants now, which is great. And so these guys are making this stuff here. So yeah, when there's end gates later on, I can maybe change this up a little bit, but I think this is probably fine for now. I don't know. We might not be producing enough. I could change this to be something like this instead, where we do that instead. but I don't know if that is going to work, because we don't have end gates. We don't have, yeah, we have counter gates, but we don't have end gates, so I don't know if that's actually gonna work very well. And I could maybe move this back here, but I think that's just gonna keep people on here perpetually. Yeah, it doesn't want to do that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. What's going on here? We've got like a double line here. Yeah, anyways, yeah, we'll rework things a little bit. Yeah, this is not going to work at the moment because we don't have an end gate. We can't tell it where to stop, so it's not going to stop sending. So I think this is fine for now. That will get us some resources going, and then we can set up something similar over here too. So now that we've got metal, we need to make some of these guys. And you don't need to move resources around to build stuff, which is nice. As long as it's on the island, it will make its way over here. So over here, we're going to change this one to be screws. And then this one will be iron plates. In fact, I'm going to move this over a little bit. And then we'll put storage next to these, like so. And eventually we'll change all of this around to be a little more efficient, but we just want to take advantage of the lifespan of these little guys as much as we can. We see how many there are on here too. Crazy. But yeah, they all start to die eventually, so we do need to get these things built up so that we can extend the lifespan of these folks in the near future. Oh, you know what we need to do here too is make a path that goes back out here. So that some of them will go back onto the other side. Fantastic. Okay. And in fact, what we can do is also make another path that goes up this way. So we'll have them looping around for now, as much as possible. Although a lot of them will die before they really get a chance to do things twice. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Yeah, we're running out of food. There we go. But that should help a lot for the food because they weren't going fully around. They were going for the same area more than they needed to, which is not working out for us. Okay, yeah, now food is building back up there. Okay, perfect. We're at 60 out of 75. We're not feeding her fast enough to go above 75 yet, but we might with these two. I'm not sure. Not entirely sure. But that's fine. All right, we got these ones built now too. So this is going to make iron plates. This is going to accept screws. And this is going to accept iron plates. And then we need to make a little path from here, a little path from there, and it'll show you if it's connected. It gives you this little arrow, which is nice. All right, and then we're going to kind of do the same thing that we had going on over here. We're just going to do a little path there, and then a little path here, and then we're going to connect this guy over this way. And we'll send you back there so you can get that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Make a little path going this way, go this way. And then you can come back to this, you can come back to here. And then we need to get this over here as well. There we go. I don't know why so many of you are coming up this way. Maybe too many going up this way right now. But until we get end pass, when we get end pass, that will change. For now, what we'll do is this. We'll kind of trick the game a little bit, sending more folks down this way. Otherwise, we're going to get long lines and they can't really pass. Yeah, it's a little bit funky, but that's what we're going to do. All right, but now we got screws being made. And eventually we'll have the steel being made here too. This takes, I think, 3 pieces. So yeah, it takes 3 people to go in. Yeah, this is not the cleanest situation at the moment. But we will solve for that shortly. We just need to get to these areas here and produce so many of these folks. So the next thing then we'll do then is hit population, and we will start making this combiner. And I'm going to put this over here for now. And what that will do is allow us to combine these guys in to a new creature, which would be fantastic. We'll just add them into the mixer. And then the other thing we're going to do is we will grab this guy here. And you are going to go on there. And I should have one more of those guys somewhere yet. You are going to go onto there. This is going to be fed onto there to make sure that's nice and full. Fantastic. Okay, so things are going pretty good. This is getting probably pretty full now. Yeah. Pretty full. Eventually we'll get bigger. We'll get bigger ones here. But what I'll do is I will just add another one there. So this one fills up. We'll start filling this one up instead. So that should work out pretty well. All right, so this guy is built now. So it's just waiting for another guy. Luckily, we got an old one. So later on, we'll get like old paths and stuff like that, so that when the older ones get old, we can send them here. But what happens now is you combine these two, and we get this little guy here who's got 12 minutes of lifespan, and you can also do plant cutting. But that's something we'll have to unlock in a bit. But he lasts a lot longer, so you take two older ones, hopefully. That's why I put it here, so that hopefully we get, some of them will be a little bit older when they get here. And then we get one of these guys, right? So we got to produce 10 of those guys in order to get to the next phase, which I think will allow us to start doing research. So we'll see the research tree. So we'll come back when this is all done. But this is all kind of automated and working for now, so nothing else we really need to worry about for a little bit. All right, so we got to our first problem is we've got one of these guys who's come onto the wrong track here, so he's kind of slowed everything down. Eventually, we'll solve for that in a little bit, but for now, we're just gonna have to send him on his way. Yeah, so these guys are gonna continue to come down here for a little bit. We'll fix that in a moment. What we can do is we can yeah, we can solve that fairly easy by keeping the, yeah, we're gonna have to separate these guys out soon, but we did get the Instinct 2 done, so now we can do the technology tree. So here's where I think the biggest update has happened. So you've seen this game before. It has a pretty sprawling tree here, but they've updated all of this. They've streamlined it, and they've added things. They've added a few things, I believe, in here too since we last played. I'm not sure exactly what yet. I have to go through everything. But there are some new stuff in here. But what they've done is they've made things a little more linear for a few areas. So some stuff kind of aligns together. So like, for instance, the energy pods, like they just go in a line. So these are all the different levels of energy pods. Right now we have the yellow ones, which are level 1, and then we're going to be able to unlock 2 and 3. Before, these were kind of placed like all over the place, and you have to do certain events in certain cases to get them unlocked and stuff like that. Now they're just kind of like linear to there, so they've kind of made those a little bit more generally linear in different areas, and changed some of the parameters and some of the requirements for some of these, I believe, as well too. So that's kind of the biggest update I think that they've done, and they've made it a little more visually appealing. This was a little bit easier to see, like the routes that you're going through to get different stuff. But yeah, it needs us to unlock this. We need to make science ants for this, so or whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called. But we need inventor ants we need to make. So we need to make inventor ants for this, so before we have enough points for that. So we'll do that in a second, but let me solve this little problem here. So what we can do is we can keep all of these ants off of these paths here. So we're gonna shut down this. We're gonna send you out this way. That's fine. We're going to yeah, path this out to here. And what that will do is this will separate all of these ants out so that we don't get, oh, we got random inventor ant right there. So you get an inventor ant by combining 2 of these regular ants together. So obviously, while I wasn't paying attention, there are 2 regular ants, one is a combiner, and it just changes the, it changed up the combiner. But we're combining 2 workers here. So this means that these guys will have a fairly short life, so we're not really like maximizing those, but we need to get the old paths unlocked before we can do that. So We'll do that in a moment. It's fine. It's not ideal. But yeah, these new regular ants do last a lot longer than they used to. So given that, I think it'll be fine once we get this kind of fully populated, and we can get populated up to 100 right now. So pretty solid amount of ants available to us. How's this guy doing on his own over here? He could actually use a buddy. I'm actually going to increase that speed so we can get this going. We also have one on the ground here. Can I pick this guy up? There's one on the ground. Yeah, pick that one up, would you? Yeah, and then go on there. Okay. I think somebody died while they're holding a little baby there. All right, so he's got a buddy now. It's going to help him. So this is maxed out as best as possible. I don't know if we need to... I think that's going to be fine. He'll wait there. Yeah, I think that's fine for now until we increase the feed rate, which is not going to be possible because we just don't have enough ants working these paths at the moment. But we will. Oh yeah, you've got 6 minutes to live. So that's a thing. So what we need to do now is get another combiner. And so for now, like I said, these are all like temporary stuff. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to throw this over here. And we're going to make a divider to send... Yeah, we're going to make a divider. The reason why I'm doing it this way is, again, because we don't have, like, counters yet. I don't want too many guys going out this way, but I do want some. And so they're going to go over there. We are going to create an inventor pad over this way. So that's going to... Yeah, it's going to go this way. We'll make 2 of these, I guess, for now. And then what we'll do here is... I think what we'll do is we will cancel this line. We're going to send these guys up this way first, and then they're going to feed these dudes. And so, hang on. We got to pause. Things are moving too fast again. All right, before we waste all of our time here. You, sir, can go into there. We're going to divide these guys up. Once they're created, they're going to get divided up this way. This one, I think we'll delete that. What's going on there? Why is that path red? I don't know. I think that's why. Okay. That's fine. They are going to need food. So this is where food becomes a bit critical, because now we need food to not only to feed Mama, but we need it to feed these guys as well. And then we're actually going to put a gate on there. We're going to say maybe 3 of them on there. And then if not, then you can go back to this path. So it's a little bit not great. Or actually, we should do it down here, right? Why am I doing it way down here? We should do this here. Counter gate of 2 there. All right, so let's change this. This will be a counter gate of 3. We delete this. We delete this. And then we make this go here. And then we connect this up as stated. And then you, sir, can go back onto this path. Yeah, the other thing we can do, I guess, temporarily for now is make this like that. Don't know if that's going to fully work yet because there's no end paths, but it might help a little bit. Slow these guys down a little bit. Yeah. It's always... Yeah, okay. I think it's good. I think this is counting as a gate. Yeah, okay. They may have made some changes there. I remember that not always being the case. But yeah, anyways, we got our first inventor ant down here. So this guy now we can pop. He dies, unfortunately, but we do get the 10 science we need. So as soon as we get another one of these guys over here, we'll be able to get another scientist going. Actually, I'm just gonna like pull one over. I think it's gonna be a little while before we get another one in there. And we've got these guys kind of idling over here. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. All right. So we've got the 10. We go into here. We can now unlock the radar tower. Fantastic. That's going to allow us to start unlocking some more stuff. We can unlock this as well. Assembler old gate. That's the one we're going to want next. So before this used to be, you have to get the old gate and then you had to also unlock a trail. I don't think you have to do that anymore, which is nice. Yeah. The assembler is going to let us do new ants as well, like this drone up here and stuff. And then we're also going to do plant cutting. We need that to do the drone because they need fabric for their wings. But yeah, that's how we get started once again. And these paths need to be extended a little bit so that they're so that they're reaching metal. They're not quite getting there. That's all good. We did complete this, so we'll get that going. And then we can build the radar tower, and things will be good. We got another inventor act going in, which is great. Yeah, things are good. Things are good, I think. Yeah, this guy will get fed pretty quickly from these fellas, which is good. Yeah, so he takes 10 food. Later on, you get higher value food, which is worth more. So each level of food is more and more efficient, but also just harder to get. So we'll see what that looks like. Meanwhile, progression-wise, we can now build this guy, which is going to be a little bit tricky because we're out of food. We're totally out of food. Why aren't you guys getting any food? Is it just too long a path, I think, for everything? I think it's just too long a path for everything. We do have a lot of ants on here, though. But yeah, this stuff is not refreshing, so sometimes they're going through. And like this guy here, he's not going to pick up anything on his route down. Unfortunately. And he's going to go back through, and he's still not going to pick anything up on this route through too as well. So that's unfortunate. We'll definitely have to completely rebuild all of this at some point. But yeah, it is what it is for now. So food is going to be premium for a little while until we can get all that sorted out. We got another little butt to pop. Fantastic. Very satisfying. We can throw this thing down. It's going to take a while to build, and then it's also going to slow down our population. We can put this anywhere we want. It doesn't need to be connected to anything. Although I do see there is a connection point to it now. I don't know what that's for. I'm kind of curious what that does. But there is a connection point to this. So we'll see what that does. That's new. That is definitely new. Anyway, so this will get built eventually. Get more plates and stuff like that going. That's fine. We got another butt to pop over here, which is great. Love popping some butt. This mostly needs food now, which is problematic. So our population's probably going to sink down a little bit here because we do not have nearly enough food, and the food is automatically going to the construction. So the construction is always prioritized, and it grabs from anywhere. So it's done now, so that's good. Okay. Well, it's done for food anyways. It needs one more sheet of metal, which should be coming relatively shortly. Yeah, it's on its way right now. Okay, perfect. Yeah, but you see these guys are starting to get old, which is not good. But we do have enough technology, I think, now to get the old gate. Yeah, so I definitely want to get the old gate up. And then what that will allow me to do is it allows me to take this elder trail and this old gate. So what happens there is that these guys, when they get through here and when they get through over here, we can now grab them on this elder trail. And, oh, guess move them out this way. And then this elder trail keeps them alive a little bit longer. But then they can come up to here, and then we no longer need this anymore. They can just go straight into there. So now the old guys are going to get consumed. Oh, that one didn't make it. Unfortunate. But they can go over there, which means similarly for these guys, if we change this up a little bit, the old gate can come out this way, and then an elder trail can go like so, and then get divided out appropriately like that. I just made this a little bit longer just so they have space to. It's usually what happens is you get like quite a few all at the same time. Why are you going there? You're not old. You're not old at all. All right. That's fine. Okay, so now we got the old ones going over there. We got another butt to pop over there. We have an old gate. I'll leave this one for now, just because I don't think I have any way to get rid of their food. I would have to get them to drop the food off over here. The reason why that is if they've got food in their mouths, they're not going to go into the machine. So we can do that temporarily. And then we'll combine this elder trail with this elder trail. So now all the old ones will go to be combined. So we'll kind of maximize their lifespans a little bit more. So you should see our population starting to go up a little bit, which is great. All right, we got some more science there. And we also now have this guy done. Now, I don't know why there's an entry path to this now. Yeah, we can make contact. I don't know why this thing is here. I don't know what we would feed in here, if anything. But that's new. That wasn't there before. I don't know if it tells us in the development track. Large distance scans for signals in the sky. No, it doesn't look like it has anything there. Okay, that's fine. So what we'll do instead, we need to rework this after. That's not urgent. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll activate this thing. So we'll make contact. That should find us a new island. It also contacts like other ants, so you'll see some ants flying around soon. Yeah, there they are, right? You get all these drones that come in to check you out. All right, so drones are flying around. Great. Everything seems to be working as expected for now, so we've completed that. So I click this button. Okay, the radar towers are also capable of picking up signals from nearby land masses. It requires additional materials to perform that task. Okay, so once that goes, you get a little report on like everything that's happened in terms of like life and spans and whatnot in there, so that's fine. It requires additional materials to perform this action. Feed the required materials to the radar tower and use it to reveal a new island. Tip, use the track building button to radar tower panel to track progress in the UI. Okay, so this is new. This is new, so that's why we needed some stuff here. I see. Okay, so let me move this a little bit. So on here, we can reveal a Sahara Desert. Okay. Yeah, but it needs all this stuff now. Okay, so that's new. That's brand new. Okay, so before you would do this, and it would just automatically reveal a random island. It would always be a Sahara Desert. But now you actually have to feed it different things. Okay, can you change? We'll reveal that. Interesting. Use the track building button in the radar tower panel to track the progress. Okay. So we need to get 10 iron plates in here, 10 fiber, and 25 energy pods inside of here. I see. Very curious indeed. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's what we'll do, I guess. Let's get this set up to do that. So if I just put this here, and we need to get more. Oh my gosh, food is really rough right now. Food is being used for so many different things. I have updated this path here to send more people up this way, so that hopefully we get a little bit more food going. But yeah, it's a little bit desperate right now. It's just a really long pathing. Yeah, so one thing I could do is I could put another couple of these. So one thing we can do, I've done in the past, is just like have like a ton of these things. It just means that you need to like manually add them in there, but they do then collect it significantly faster. Right, because it is collecting faster. It's just that you need to tell it to go over here until you get the more advanced pods, which will allow us to do it automatically. Anyways, pop some butts. We do have a lot of food growing over here because these guys are not being fully fed, so we'll send that over there too. That will give us a little bit of a break here. So I think this one here needs 25 food. So what I'll do for now is I'll kind of do these one at a time. And so we'll place a dispenser here. And then what we'll do is we will... All of our babies that come out are going to go here first before they go here. And they will feed this thing. Will they not? Will they not feed this? Why aren't they feeding this? Why are they not? Is there none in there? Is that why? There's none in there. There is none in there, that's why. Alright, we gotta continue to do this. This is like the one little manual thing we're gonna have to keep doing for a little while. Just to keep this going. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a thing we're gonna have to do for now. Unfortunately. I'll throw another one down here. I'm gonna throw one at each like line end for now. And then we'll just have to like manually do this until we get a better system built out. Ooh, we got lots of butts up. Okay, so now these guys should be feeding the sun. Yeah, when there's food available, they're feeding it. When there's no food available, they are not. And food is at a strong premium currently. My goodness. Okay. Oh, and what's happening over here? We got too many ants working over the side. My goodness. Yeah, they're all stuck on here. Yeah, none of this is working properly. None of this is working properly at all right now. So we're gonna have to sort that out too, which we will do shortly. I think, maybe, possibly. All right, I'm in the technology tree here. So for these ones, we gotta optimize some stuff. I think what we need to do is grab this. That's gonna allow me to get here, and then allow me to get to this counter end. Yeah, there's also this link counter gate too, which I played around with. This is a newer item too. Allows you to link like a certain number, and then even if they get upgraded, it keeps them the same, which is good. And main trail just is like a main trail. So it's just a cosmetic to make it easier visually to see stuff, so we're not worried about that. The null trail is handy though, because this means it's just a null trail. They have no commands when they're on that trail, so that's super handy. Yeah, so that's a couple of things that we definitely need. That's going to need us to rework everything. But I think I'll do that in the next episode. So now that we have that, we can set these up so that these behave a little bit more efficiently, all of these different lines. So we'd have to do a bit of a rebuild come that. So I'll do that if we do another episode. Let me know if you want to see some more of this game with all of its updates down below. Hit the like button, hit that comment, and I'll continue to do a couple more episodes on this, depending on how you guys are enjoying it. But yeah, this has been Microtopia, major update. So catch you guys in the next video. Take care.